Hey y'all, I know I have been very inactive and I'm super sorry about that, but I felt with the size of my platform, it would be really irresponsible to not talk about what is happening in Gaza right now to the Palestinian people, so I will be chit-chatting about that today, and if you have been wanting a reading from me, whether in regards to astrology or tarot, there will be some news at the end of this video regarding that. If you are unaware of what is happening in the Western Asian region known as the Middle East, the government of Israel is currently committing an ethnic cleansing against the people of Palestine in the Gaza Strip. This has not been going on for a few days. It has been going on for decades upon decades. It has been going on longer than most of us on this app have even been alive for. However, over the past few years, especially the past few months, the people of Gaza have been experiencing more violent atrocities committed against them from the Israeli government. Typically in the West, when you try to discuss this matter, you are told that it is very complex and that it is better to only speak on it if you have personal ties to the situation. Now, in regards to discussing the history of the conflict, it is not as convoluted as people try to make it out to be. However, I know that I am not as well spoken or well researched as some creators on this app, and so I will be reposting videos and tagging creators who have a better grasp and more information on the situation and the history of it. However, what I do know is the best way I can help is by spreading the knowledge and information that I do have, and by encouraging others to speak up and spread information, and also to fight the misinformation that is constantly being spread by mainstream news outlets and our government. And what we do know is that Israel is treating Stanton's 10 stages of genocide as a to-do list. What we are seeing today from the Israeli government is the actions of a far-right authoritarian regime, fascist regime that has been given far too much power and far too much leniency by the rest of the world. They are a Zionist fascist state, and they are fully funded by the United States. And that is only one of the many multitude of reasons why you should care about this conflict today. Now, many people do not know what the practice of Zionism is, and as someone who grew up as Zionist Pentecostal, I would like to inform you. Zionism is the belief that God's children, whether they are the Jewish people or Christian people, which I will get into later, that they are supposed to return to the sacred land, to this holy city of Jerusalem, and the rapture will occur following that. Now, many people are unaware that the majority of supporters of the Zionist movement are American evangelicals and American Pentecostals and American Baptists. The reason why I separated Jewish and Christian Zionists ties into the reasoning why there are so many radicalized Zionist Christians today. In Jewish Zionism, it is believed that the Jewish people are to return to a promised land, a holy land, and a small subsect of them believed that land was Israel back like 80 years ago. And that movement led to the Nakba, which was the forced removal of 1 million plus Palestinians from their homeland, where they were displaced by Israeli colonial settlers who were backed by the British. And this Zionist movement is what founds the Zionist movement of Israel today. Now, the Christian Zionism that I was introduced to as a child shared similar foundational core beliefs as the Jewish subsect. It was believed that Christians were supposed to assist the Jewish people in reclaiming their land from the quote-unquote Semites that had invaded it. However, where it differs is that the Jewish people are to serve as a catalyst for the rapture, because in Christian Zionism, it is believed that the Lord has forgotten the Jewish people. It is believed that since they do not acknowledge Jesus as the Son of God, that God has taken that as disrespect, basically, and forgotten them, and so he will smite them all down. How he does this is by allowing the nations surrounding Israel to bomb it to hell and back, and then the Christians, specifically like the US Christians, they get to go into Israel, and then God's gonna take them straight up to heaven. These are the beliefs of millions in America, those who are calling the shots potentially, those who are signing off on the funding to Israel, etc. This is why it's important to stay informed. This is why it's important to look up terms that you don't understand. It's why it's important to do your own research, because the men, women, and children of Palestine may be wiped off the face of the earth because of a doomsday cult. Because one group of people believes that their salvation comes at the cost of millions of innocent lives. There is no excuse. There is no reasoning, no validation for the mindless and senseless killing of these innocent civilians in the Gaza Strip. These are people. These are human lives that are being lost day in and day out, that are being starved and being kept from electricity, from food, from water. The Israeli Defensive Forces have bombed the schools and hospitals that these people hide in. They have bombed their homes. They have bombed every single place that they could find refuge. It is important to remember that the few do not represent the many. Hamas does not represent all of Palestine. Zionists do not represent all Jewish and Christian people. They are small, hateful groups that represent the minority. Now, in my bio, I have posted 2 links in my linktree. One is at Arab.org, and with a click a day, you can donate to the people of Palestine, along with several other funds that help the Arabic community around the world. The second is a donation link for Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and the money and proceeds go to the children of Palestine. And if you have been wanting an astrology or a tarot reading from me, I have finally opened that up. And from today, October 19th to November 19th, I will be donating 50% of all proceeds to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Now, if there is a different fund that you would like to send your money to that is still helping the people of Palestine, then please, in the form in my bio, let me know, and I will have your the portion of your funds donated to that organization instead. And you will receive like a screenshot for validation that your money is going to where you think it's going, if you have any concerns about that. Now, in closing, this has been a rough time for everyone around the world, obviously, to witness a genocide and ethnic cleansing that we have read about in books since we were children, happening right in front of our faces, and feeling nothing but hopelessness and helplessness about it. It is terrifying to think that this could be happening in our day and age. However, this is like a grain of rice compared to what the Palestinian people have been feeling for decades upon decades. Stay active on social media, share their stories, their history. The Palestinian people need a voice, and you have the ability to be that voice for them as they lose electricity and food and water in their homes. It is draining to fight those who have been indoctrinated by propaganda, but I promise you, the Palestinian people need you to be their voice right now. They need you to fight all of this misinformation. We cannot have this happen again. We cannot fail these people again.